It's that time of year again, home canning season. And if you're planning to do any home canning this year, it's important that you check your equipment early, particularly if you're going to do any pressure canning, because you need to make sure that your pressure canner is in good shape. There's two basic kinds of pressure canners that you can use. This particular one is a dial gauge, and you can tell why we probably call it that, because it has this dial on the top of it. You need to make sure that this dial is reading accurately. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is take the lid, and usually it's only the lid you need to take in, to your county extension office and have them check to make sure that the dial reads accurately. Now once you know that, and you know that the dial is reading accurately so that the food isn't under process, so that you're not running a increased risk of spoilage or foodborne illness, then there are some other things you need to check on the canner. First of all, you need to check the vent. Now hopefully you've stored the canner so that there's nothing on top of it and stored the lid in an upright position so that the vent pipes are protected, and once that's done, all you need to do is make sure that they're clean. A couple of ways you can do that. One is to hold it up and look through there to make sure that you can see through it. Another thing that you can do is to take a pipe cleaner, if there is something in there that you can't see through, and run it down through there a bit so that you can kind of clean it out. That's all that really should require. Other kind of vents on this canner shouldn't require any attention. They should be in good shape. The next thing you're going to want to do is to check the gasket, which runs around here. Now the gasket is there to help keep the steam and the pressure inside the canner, so that if you're running at 10 pounds, you've got 240 degrees inside there. Once they get old, and you can tell by looking at them, they're not flexible anymore, they're hard instead of soft and rubbery. They may also show some cracks. One of the reasons you want to get your canner out way ahead of time is because these can sometimes be hard to replace. Now you need to make sure that you get the right one and that you treat it properly. So check your home canning manual, your guide manual that came with your canner. Make sure that you get the right one. Check at hardware stores, discount stores, places where they sell canning equipment, but you may need to order it from the manufacturer, which is why you want to do it early. Some of them need to be pre-oiled, some of them don't. And it depends on the canner that you got, which treatment you need to use. If you don't use the right treatment, you're going to ruin it. So make sure you follow instructions there. Now, weighted gauge doesn't need to be taken in and have the gauge checked because it doesn't have one. It will have a couple of components. Make sure you've got them all. This is the weighted gauge, and they actually come apart into 3 pieces usually. If you're using just one, you have 5 pounds pressure. You add a piece, you have 10 pounds. You add both pieces, you've got 15 pounds pressure. So make sure that you don't lose these pieces as you go throughout the canning season. But they'll always read accurately. You don't need to have them checked. Now also during the canning season, you're going to use a lot of jars. So it's a good time when you're getting everything up from the attic or down from the attic or up from the basement that you check your jars as well. Make sure that you've stored them in some way that they are not going to be bumping into each other if at all possible. Check the jars for breakage, for nicks along the rim, just to make sure they're in good condition. You don't need to wash them until you're ready to use them, but you do want to know you have enough of them to do what you want to do, because chances are everybody's green beans in that county and that town are going to come ripe at just about the same time yours do. And if you don't have your jars ahead of time, you may not be able to find any. Get ready ahead of time. It's going to be a long, fun canning season. For Oklahoma Gardening, this is Barbara Brown.